I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs. Ideas for dinner, or should we say, idea per la cena, because today we're making a classic Italian-American dish, chicken Parmesan, breaded chicken with pasta and marinara sauce, and we'll show you how to make it for your dinner. Since we're tackling such an iconic dish, we needed an icon of Italian cooking. And today we're joined by Frank Scatino. He's the man behind Frankie's Italian Chop House and Cafe Cibo in St. Pete. Chef Frankie, welcome to Dinner DeeAs, my friend.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, chicken parm originated here in the States from Italian immigrants in the Northeast. And you grew up in Baltimore in a Sicilian family. So is this something you ate as a kid a lot?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Yeah, a lot of times it would be whether it was steak or veal or chicken, but my mother, it was always a go-to would be to fry it in some breadcrumbs and you know, and just that's how we ate it.
I love it because this is like one of my favorites, the go-to always for me at any Italian restaurant. And having been at yours, this was on the menu every time that I come to see you guys at Cafe Cibo. So how do we get started with this dish?
Well, what we do is start out with marinara sauce. The most important thing in cooking Italian food is how the sauce is going to start. So what we're going to do is make a simple marinara sauce, which my mother always had in the cupboards, you know, or in the fridge.
So was she doing like days worth of preparation and then jarring it and having it ready? Was this like a whole process where the whole family was getting involved?
Well, actually, that was a certain time of the year when we would can our tomatoes.
Yeah?
And and then we would always have like mason jars full of tomatoes ready to go at any given moment. You know, if my mother heard that someone was coming over, right away she'd pull out a can of sauce.
She was ready for it. The can of sauce, got it.
Right.
Because there's so much you could do when you have a really good base.
A tomato sauce is your base. So your tomato sauce, you could throw seafood in it and make it a seafood marinara pasta dish. You could just throw pasta in it and make it a marinara. You know, throw it on chicken and make chicken parm. Throw it with eggplant and make an eggplant parm. The sauce is going to be in almost every dish that you use in Italian cooking.
So we've got these onions that are just cooking over here, and just a little bit of oil. So what we do is
a couple tablespoons of oil. You brown your. You know, see they're starting to get a little translucent, a little brown. So we're going to throw in some garlic. The garlic you throw in afterwards. You don't want garlic will tend to burn quicker than onions will.
Mm-hmm. You got to use fresh garlic.
Oh yeah.
You have to.
Well,
no.
There's granulated garlic you can use for different things, and we'll actually get to that when you're making the breadcrumbs and stuff.
Yeah.
You do, but you have to use fresh garlic.
Fresh garlic.
There's no
non-negotiable, folks.
Right,
non-negotiable.
So now that things are getting a little slightly brown, you want to go ahead and put your tomato, 2 cans of crushed or ground tomatoes.
Okay.
The 28-ounce cans. But like I said, Mom used to have them already in the mason jars, those big giant mason jars. And then she would clean out the cans with a little bit of water. And you're almost a full can of water.
Okay.
And then you would just kind of clean it out like this.
So
stir it up.
So you're getting every last bit of that tomato goodness right there.
Well, there's no sense in throwing it away, right? Well, let's use it.
I love it.
That's a clean can.
See, it's ready to go.
It's a clean can. We're going to do this. Okay, so now you're going to put that in there. Now, we're going to add our spices. Not a lot of spices. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of salt. You might think it's a lot, but it really isn't. It'll absorb quickly.
Okay. 2
tablespoons of sugar. Not to make it sweet, but to take the acidity out of your tomatoes.
Okay.
Tomatoes obviously have a lot of acidity to them. Mm-hmm. And when you put a little bit of sugar, it kind of takes that bite out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, now, you can also use a natural way of using sugar is carrots. People like to shred carrots, but you want to shred them real fine, and then you'll have to put them in the oil with the onion.
Yeah.
But this was maybe a little cheating thing that my mother used to use.
Hey, mother was always right in my house, so mother must have been right in your house too.
It was delicious. So, and then probably a tablespoon of black ground pepper.
Okay.
Then we just a little pinch, quarter teaspoon of chili flakes.
Okay.
The
So just
spicy chili flakes, just to give it a little. It's not going to make it hot. It's just going to give it a little kick. This cooks usually within 35 to 45 minutes.
beautiful, because if you want to make Chef Frankie's chicken parm, and I think this guy knows what he's doing here, grab his recipe at dinnerdeas.com. We have all the ingredients, the amounts and directions, and they're printer friendly too. Get your phone out, open the camera app, and point it at your TV, zooming in on that black and white box in the corner of the screen, which is our QR code. When your camera recognizes it, a link to our site will pop up on your phone. So while this marinara does its thing, we're gonna do our thing, my friend, because we're gonna take a break. And when we come back, how Chef Frankie preps and cooks his chicken for the perfect parm ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. We're joined in the kitchen today by Chef Frankie Scatino. He's the Frankie of Frankie's Italian Chop House in St. Pete, plus his OG spot, Cafe Cibo, which has been around for a quarter of a century. He's here today, though, to tackle a classic, chicken Parmesan, making it all from scratch. Before the break, we started our marinara sauce, sauteing onions, garlic, then adding tomatoes, and making sure to rinse every last bit from the cans. A little water, salt, pepper, crushed red pepper flakes, and a little sugar. We left that to simmer, and you think it's ready?
I think it's there. Yeah, I think it's there. Let me give it. I tell you what I do at the very end, just give it a little splash of extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
It gives it a nice little texture. It tastes good too, and it should be ready.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
I just want like a big loaf of bread and sauce and just start
Loaf
dipping.
of bread. That's what
I can go right ahead into it, but
my mother had the old wooden spoons, and we would dip our bread in it, and she would hit us.
she would be like, go away from it. Well, we can still have a little bit of fun, like kind of doing a little bit of pounding, because it looks like we got to pound away on some chicken.
Yeah. Well, chicken breast, usually a piece of chicken breast, they come thin, and then they have the thicker end of it. And what you want it to do to cook evenly, you wanna put a piece of cellophane paper on it, and you wanna just pound it out nice and flat. You don't want to hit it so hard to where it tears your chicken.
Okay.
But you want it just enough to where it makes it nice and equal levels of thickness. And so once you do, then
So not thin, but just even.
right, even, and that way you have the perfect chicken cutlet.
Okay.
All right. So now we are going to put our chicken cutlets together here. And we are going to mix our breadcrumbs. I use panko breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And we're going to put just a tablespoon of salt.
Okay.
We're going to put, this is where we use granulated garlic. It's okay to use.
Okay.
And I'm going to put 2 of those because I like a little garlic.
I like the garlic.
And a little black pepper. About a half a tablespoon. And then some parsley. I would say that's a full Now, parsley is for color.
Parsley's for the color, so could you use dried if you had that, or?
Dry, yes.
Dry.
This is dry parsley.
Okay.
This is the only time I use dry parsley, when I used it in the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
If I'm using it on a pasta dish, like a seafood pasta dish, it's fresh.
Fresh, okay.
And I finish it with that.
Okay.
And it gives it a freshness. The dry parsley, it's more for color.
Okay.
Now the Parmesan cheese. Now this is considered chicken Parmesan. So the Parmesan is in the breadcrumbs. I usually put about a cup of Parmesan cheese, as opposed to 2 cups of the breadcrumbs. And then you just stir it up, mix it all together. Give yourself a nice little stirring. Okay, and that's pretty much put together. And now you're going to use your process of egg wash, Just lay it anywhere.
I have to take this right over here.
Okay. And so now we're gonna do, you're gonna have to get your hands wet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have one dry hand, one wet hand. And the wet hand goes this way. What we wanna do is put just a little bit of flour on the chicken breast.
Now, do you season your flour?
No, I do if I'm using it to actually cook, but I've got all my seasoning
Everything's
in
there,
here.
so you're not going extra for that part.
I don't need anything
Okay.
extra for that part. And I put it, the flour makes it sticky.
Yeah.
It's gonna make this stick
Okay.
even better. And so then I just drop it in here. Dry hand, I'm gonna cover it up first. Okay, we're gonna cover it all up and then we're gonna press it down. You can turn off that sauce.
Okay.
Now you're just gonna lay it down here, and then we have another one here. We're just gonna set that on the side, and we're just gonna let them cook for about 2 or 3 minutes per side.
All right. Perfect.
I'm gonna wash my hands.
To grab the recipe for Chef Frankie's perfect chicken parm, go to dinnerdeals.com. All the instructions you need, the amounts, the ingredients, the directions are all ready to print. All you need to do is just scan the QR code to get there. And like, this has got to be a trick of the trade here. So what are you doing right now?
I am just putting a little bit of olive oil on the pan so that the chicken won't stick to it while it's in the oven, because it can stick to it. So a little bit of oil won't hurt it. And then let's try it.
And what are we looking for on this side?
We're looking when we see this side starts getting brown. As you can see right here on the edges, it's starting to get brown. Then we know that this side is probably just about golden brown.
Okay.
That color is
That's what we know that it's ready.
That's kind of what you want. That's
Okay.
the color you want. I think they're pretty good now.
We're ready to go on that bad boy?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Let me just give it a quick check. Oh yeah. Nice and cooked.
Love it.
Perfect.
So what happens next?
Why don't we take that off and just slide it
Slide
right
that
there.
one
Right
over
there,
here.
that's good. Okay, so now we're going to take a little bit of our marinara sauce.
Okay.
Very simple. Chicken Parmesan. That's all you got to do. You're going to put sauce.
And is there a method to this? Is it like you got to just get every little bit of it, or
Well, I like touching this with a little bit of basil.
there and then
Just a touch.
Just a little touch?
Yeah, you're right. That's it. That's all you need. A little bit like that. Perfect.
cut?
And then we put our mozzarella on it.
Now
We have fresh mozzarella.
you're saying fresh mozzarella, so you're making mozzarella cheese.
We make fresh mozzarella. At Frankie's, we have it to order. It's probably our largest selling appetizer is the fresh mozzarella.
Really?
Made to order. So you come in, you say, okay, I wanted the order of the fresh mozzarella, and we stretch it and we hit it with this old balsamic vinegar. It's a 12-year-old balsamic vinegar. Sometimes we get even older. But it's very expensive, the balsamic vinegar. But
Well, it's worth the dining experience. So
yes,
what
it
happens
is.
next now?
now we're gonna put it in the oven.
Perfect. Well, it seems like the hard work is done. So we'll let the oven take it from here while we take a quick break. When we come back, how to play our parm as perfectly as we cooked it ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We're cooking today with Chef Frankie Scatino. He's the man behind Cafe Cibo and Frankie's Italian Shop House, both in St. Pete. And we brought him in to make the ultimate chicken parm that looks absolutely beautiful. Before the break, we wrapped and pounded out our chicken, dusting them in flour, dipping them in an egg wash, then pressing into them with seasoned panko breadcrumbs mixed with Parmesan cheese. We fried the chicken until it was golden brown on each side, covered it with marinara sauce that we started earlier, and added, what was it? More cheese. Because, why not?
Cheese.
We then let it bake into that oven there at 400 degrees, about 10 minutes, and it's already ready to go. During the break, we also cooked up a little bit of pasta. Now at the restaurant, I know you're cooking with fresh pasta.
Yes.
Any tips with a box pasta?
You know what? A good quality box pasta is fine.
Okay.
I mean, nothing's wrong with dry pasta. Fresh pasta is easier to work with, but box pasta is good.
And what are we working with over here?
We got a little angel hair,
Okay.
angel hair pasta. And the biggest misconception of people when they put, because people are probably saying, well, why didn't he put basil in there? Basil, once it cooks and loses its color, it loses its flavor. The best way that I find for basil to be used is fresh in our pasta. So we're gonna go ahead and put sauce all over our pasta. I put a little bit earlier just to keep it from sticking.
And how important is that? Because like if you didn't, I mean, it would just clump together.
It would clump together if you did not. So what we do is now the heat from this sauce will make this basil come to life. And not only that, now we stir it up inside. We stir it, get it nice, and that basil now, I mean, I don't know if you can smell it, but that basil now, you can smell
it's fresh.
the basil.
It's bright.
Right, and now, not even that, but you can hit it with a little extra virgin olive oil
Okay.
at the end. That has such a nice touch to it. Okay, I know this is a big portion, but
That's okay.
You know
When it comes to
what?
chicken parm,
I'm
good.
My mother and father always say it's always better to have more than not enough. Food and money.
food and money. All right. I like that. I like
We'll
that.
have a little bit more, and there's your chicken
Look at
meal.
folks. Look how beautiful this
Wait a
episode
minute,
is.
wait a minute.
It's not finished just yet.
We need a little bit of Parmesan Pecorino Romano.
Look at
And
that.
that could go on all of it, and it won't hurt my feelings.
It doesn't hurt my feelings either on that one, because look how beautiful that looks. Absolutely stunning. Because to have an authentic chicken parmesan on the table tonight for your dinner, just grab Chef Frankie's recipe over at our website, dinnerdeas.com. The easiest way to find us is to use the phone to scan the QR code we've put in the corner of the screen. And if you make this for your dinner, take a photo and share it with us. You can find us on Facebook, and that's facebook.com/dinnerdeas, all one word, where you can see previews of upcoming recipes, and you can message us. And thanks to everyone who left comments and sent messages after Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day, when a certain Holden Philbin joined us to make his favorite calzones. Danielle, who's watching in St. Pete, said, "Your son is super cute. I did a quick glance at the TV and thought it was my grandson for a moment. My Elliot is 8 years old, but lives out in Colorado Springs. Nice to have a junior helper in the kitchen today. Enjoy." Thanks to everyone who wrote to us or left comments. We don't have the time to read them all on air, but your kind words mean a whole lot to Holden and me. We're going to treasure forever. It was a really cool memory. Really, really was as a dad. When we come back, Chef Frankie and I, though, we're going to get to eating, because as we taste test this chicken parm delight here on Dinner Diaz. To Dinner Diaz. We've been spending time in the kitchen today with Frankie Scatino. He's the man behind Cafe Cibo in St. Pete and now Frankie's Italian Chop House, and he's been sharing how he makes a classic Italian-American dish, chicken parmesan. It's got everything you would want: cheese, beautifully breaded chicken, and the one recipe every cook needs: a great marinara sauce. My friend, you ready to dig in?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do this. Now, are you a pasta guy first, or are you going straight in for the chicken first?
Traditionally, it's pasta first.
You're going pasta, so you want to go for it? We're going for the spin and the twirl here?
Yeah, the spin and the twirl. They say don't use a spoon, like they used to use spoons, but that's okay.
That's how my mom and dad always taught me too. It was like always like the whole like
the spoon. Al dente.
But you know what I really enjoyed that I got a little bit, because it's coated on the palate, was the olive oil.
The olive oil. You taste that olive oil.
It's that olive oil right there. It gives that nice little punch. It's a little bit more robust of a flavor. All right.
And the breading is still crispy.
Let's try this bad boy out. Oh yeah.
Not bad.
That's an understatement. That is delicious.
You'd think I'd made this a couple times.
You know, I mean, 25 years, Cafe Cibo, and now having Frankie's Italian Chop House. You know, what's it like to see another concept come to life? Because this is just two of, like, over the course of your career, how many restaurants have you been a part of?
I've had 11 different restaurants. I've been a part of 11 different restaurants, and I ain't getting any younger. So we're going to start slowing down. I think Frankie's is, I saved the best for last.
You saved the best for last?
I think I saved the best.
So in this season of life, this is where it's all out for you right now?
Right now, I don't see anything else. I'm going to concentrate on Frankie's and Cafe Cibo and just work on the best I can possibly do.
Well, you've absolutely done it with these two dishes here today, my friend, because these are showstoppers.
Thank you.
Simple, but just elevated in a way.
The everyday mom and dad can make this at home. Very easy. With some pasta, chicken, some cheese, and marinara.
You can't beat it. You can't beat it. Thanks again to Chef Frankie. Grab his chicken parm recipe at dinnerdeas.com, where we have a link to Cafe Cibo and to Frankie's Italian Chop House. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time with more Dinner Deas.